Zhongli and Geo characters in general are getting some big buffs, and Geo has come in and told us officially what it is that they're working on, what they're testing out. Now remind yourselves, this stuff could be further changed. Some of this could get reverted, but what is going on here? There's a lot of cool stuff happening to Zhongli and Geo characters in general, which is a big thing, big power boost to just all of them working together, especially with the Enduring Rock getting changed. But let's go over all of this stuff. As it says, current adjustments not final. A lot of these changes, guys, too, when we talked about Zhongli, what I would change about Zhongli, the things I didn't like about Zhongli, nearly everything I talked about is in here. So let's talk about this. Regarding Zhongli's character changes as a character, passive talents, dominance of Earth. So this is planet befalls damage equals to 33% of Zhongli's max HP. Post adjustment effect, the damage dealt by his attacks will be increased based on his maximum HP. Normal charge and plunging attack damage will be increased by 1.39% of his maximum health. They're going to give his attacks an HP scaling part to them. They're still going to have the attack scaling, right? So you're still going to need to build attack on him, but you get some bonus free damage on his normal attack chain, his charge attacks, his plunging attacks, equal to 1.39% of his maximum health. So that's going to be his dominance of Earth passive trait. Now on top of this as well, his E, the Stone Steely, the resonance and holding mode damage of Dominus Lapidus will be increased by 1.9% of his maximum HP. This, we talked about this gives you sort of like the character fantasy trope of Zhongli, right? He's this HP scaling bruiser type character that also wants to have attack, right? Crit hit chance, crit damage, but it gives you more of an opportunity to build him for HP percent if you're trying to use him as like your bruiser or your burst damage support, things like that. You're going to gain 1.9% max HP on your E pulse or when you activate it, and then 1.39% max HP on his skilling. Now this isn't the biggest buff in the game. I don't think this is like going to make him insanely strong, but I do like that it kind of fits the fantasy. It is a buff, obviously, but it also helps you fit the fantasy of like that character design, right? He's coming in. It was really weird for like only one of his things to scale with HP. Now I do believe that, I don't know if they're going to change and remove Planet Befall HP scaling to his ultimate, his elemental burst, but they are adding it to his normal attack as well as his elemental skill there. Also, yeah, Planet Ball is still going to have the 33% damage increase. Had to scroll down a little bit there, but yeah. So it's very awesome that all of his stuff is going to have some HP scaling, because it makes him feel a little bit less like a mess of a character. Like, oh, I got HP scaling for this one move, and then my Geo Shield, but my damage doesn't scale at all. It was really weird, but that's going to be gone, and I like that a ton. Now, pardon the big breathes, but there's a lot of cool stuff coming in here. Adjustment to Dominus Lapidus holding mode. So this is going to be a big thing here. They're going to also be talking about some of the big changes to just Geo characters in general. So they go over the original effect. Post adjustment though, right? It's still going to do the same thing. It's going to blow up, do damage, right? Creates a Jade shield. Now this is really the big thing about Geo characters. The Jade shield here that Zhongli makes is going to have two different changes. Still going to scale on his HP percent, but Geo shields are changing. Most other elemental shields in the game, they have whatever sort of shield you put on them, but if the damage that they're absorbing is the matching element, they're 250% stronger. Geo shields are gonna be different though. They're gonna still put the shield up, and they're gonna give you 100. They're gonna be like 150% increased effectiveness against Geo damage, but also 150% increased effectiveness against physical damage, which is huge. That's very big. That's insanely strong, because most elemental shields like this, whether you're the Diona shield or Geo shields from like Noel, those things used to be 250% for matching element only. So the ice shields would be good against ice damage, fire shields would be good against fire damage. Geo shields, instead of only being like super insanely strong against Geo damage, they're a little bit better against Geo damage and a little bit better against physical damage, which is huge, because you're gonna run into way more physical damage and things hitting you than you are just straight up Geo damage. So that's gonna be awesome there as well. Also on top of that, they're increasing the interruption resistance while you're holding Dominus Lapidus down, so you can't get like knocked back and knocked around, as they show you here. Super cool. I do like that a lot. Now here's another big one for Geo characters in general. They're changing the Enduring Rock buff. It's just a straight buff. So Enduring Rock, before, when you're protected by a shield, you get increased attack damage by 15%. Now, what it's going to do here for you guys, increases your shield strength by 15%. When you're protected by a shield, you get 15% more in damage, and dealing damage to enemies will lower their geo resistance by 20% for 15 seconds. This is probably the biggest buff, period. This makes geo characters so much better because it makes you want to run double geo characters. They've been, working on a lot of the geo characters working well with each other, right? Zhongli wants things, geo constructs to resonate together. He was kind of like the first, breaking the mold, changing the algorithm, really giving you a reason to put two geo characters together. Ningguang gives geo characters, damage increase when you walk through her shields. And then they kind of designed geo characters to work in slightly different ways, right? Ningguang, very strong single target burst damage. Noelle can heal your team up, very strong AoE burst damage. We got some crowd control, some extra shields with Zhongli. He wants the resonance from the different geo constructs that you can put down with all the other characters. And this kind of solidifies you wanting to run two geo characters. This is insanely strong. This is so good. This is so good. You get better shields, more damage, and then more damage on top of that. Because beforehand, I don't believe there was not a single way to reduce enemies' resistances to geo resistance. Not one in the game. Not a character, not a piece of gear, nothing. And now, if you're running two geo characters together, you're gonna get that 20% geo resistance down. So this is huge because this used to just be the 15% attack bonus. Now it's that in geo resistance down and increased shield strength. That is awesome. That is very strong. And then they're talking about the geo shield balance adjustments that we kind of hinted on earlier when we were talking about the Zhongli barrier change. So this is huge. Now this is huge. So this is what it applies to. Geo shields, right, are adjusted for having 250% geo damage absorption and have 150% physical damage absorption and elemental damage absorption. These effects includes, geo shields created by Zhongli's elemental skill, Noelle's elemental skill. Also, geo shields created when picking up geo crystals dropped by geo swap hatchlings. So a lot of these shields, this is a big buff. It's a big buff. And they also go in and talk about this. I think it's a big buff. Because remember, this is not just all shields, this is geo shields. So the shields will be weaker against geo damage, incoming geo damage, but they'll be better against physical damage. No other shield has this increased physical damage resistance in the game. All the other shields are the same way, right? If it's an ice shield, neutral to everything, bonus absorption versus ice. Fire shield, bonus absorption versus fire, neutral to everything. This is the first shield to have a split. A little bit better against geo and a little bit better against physical. And that's awesome because a lot of the damage that you take is physical damage. There's not a whole bunch of geo enemies in the game either. So keep that in mind there. Also, it says geo shield created when picking up geo crystals dropped by geo swap hatchlings. I think that means the crystallized effect from the geo swap hatchlings, possibly, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Those are the little roly-poly Sonic the Hedgehog guys. Okay. Now, they also want to go in some final details here. This round of adjustments is not merely intended to improve the experience of playing Zhongli alone. We also hope to better convey the shield and geo playstyles that are closely associated with him, not only for his sake, but also for the experience of travelers who have been delving into the strategy layer of this game. It is precisely because these changes we go further than pure adjustments to a character alone than we have taken the utmost care. We hope to be able to give travelers a more detailed solution as opposed to hastily throwing out a general direction for adjustments. We truly hope that Zhongli will be a trusted companion for all travelers and hope that you are able to experience a different playstyle through him, one that will enrich your gaming experience. 1.3 beta test server access will soon be released, and we would like to take this opportunity to call upon all travelers who obtain access to not be reserved in giving us any in-game suggestions and feedback that you may have, regarding these adjustments through the testing process. So it's cool because they're not just buffing Zhongli, but buffing the geo characters and the geo systems. A lot of people have called for geo adjustments before, and if there was anything that you guys wanted to feedback on, then make sure you tell them. Anytime that we've had those, what do you want to call them? The surveys, I always tell him exactly what I, you know, even if it makes, it's like, I don't know about this achievement system, boss. Maybe a little bit more than five primo gems for killing and doing 200 of this ley line. I don't know about 5 for something like that. But let me know what you think about this buff adjustments to Zhongli and Geo characters. I'm a big Geo fan, and so I'm ready for this. I've been working on Noelle. We're gonna have some more Noelle content coming up, mapping out exactly how strong you can make Noelle, the day in the life of a Noelle main, all that good stuff. So if you want to see more stuff like that, guys, you know what to do here. You guys have a good time out there, good rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys on the channel after you hit that like, subscribe this week. So until then, guys, take care.